Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We've got some big news in the DC universe. They officially just announced that in 2021, they're going to release the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. This is huge. This is the petition the fans have been fighting for 3 years now. And who knew that internet petitions actually worked? But here we are getting the actual Snyder Cut released in 2021. According to Zack Snyder, we've only seen 25% of the original movie within the Justice League they released in theaters. They took out a whole nother movie's length of content and trimmed it down to a 2-hour movie, and we got to see it flop firsthand. There's talk that the new cut is going to be released as a 6-part series, with each episode being an hour long instead of an original 4-hour-long movie, because, let's be honest, that's pretty long for a movie. We were originally supposed to get more Black Suit Superman, some Green Lantern stuff, and some Darkseid Lois Lane storyline, along with a bunch of other stuff they cut out. We're going to go over everything they took out of the original and what's actually happening and what the Snyder Cut is and why it's coming out 4 years after the original movie did. Thank goodness someone listened to the internet for once, because this is the best thing that could have happened in this situation. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the big videos we've got coming out. We've got a great community here that loves to talk about all the same things that you love to talk about. So go on down and hit that red button to subscribe and come say hi in the comments. We'd love to have you join the community as we head towards 200K. Now, let's jump right into it because we've got a lot of exciting news to cover. I honestly don't remember the last time a petition I saw on the internet actually did something. The Snyder Cut of the movie now has more coverage than the original movies released it. At this point, you could say the S on Superman's chest just stands for Snyder Cut. For the fans to stay strong and keep supporting this movement for 3 years now really tells us how much this means to the fans. Even all the actors were supporting it through their social medias. At Comic-Con in 2019, the fans had a banner that said "Release the Snyder Cut, fly over the convention center." They bought up a bunch of billboards that said it along the roads, and it's literally because of all this support that Warner Brothers said that they're going to release this cut. Which I almost wonder why they didn't agree to do sooner. They're bound to make a lot of money from it. They could even re-release it into theaters if they were worried about it. They said they're going to spend around $30 million extra to finish filming the extra scenes and work on post-production, but that's not too much. They could easily make that back in box office with all the fan support. And it's crazy how this all happened. The other day, Zack Snyder was hosting a live stream watch party of Man of Steel, and Henry Cavil, Superman, joined the call, and they announced it on stream with the fans and the director and Superman for a charity event. Snyder said that if it was up to him, he would have finished his cut of the movie a long time ago, but it just wasn't his call. But now, yes, it is real, and we're getting the original cut sometime next year, and they're literally just going to call it Zack Snyder's Justice League. Unfortunately, while he was shooting the movie, there was a family tragedy that made him leave production. Really sad to hear, but that meant that someone else had to come in and try to fill his shoes. The studio brought in Joss Whedon to finish what he had started, but in their own way. The rough cut of the film was almost 3 hours, and Warner Brothers gave them a 2-hour-long mandate to fulfill. They ended up cutting out all the character building scenes and gave us the bare minimum of a cut mixed with a rushed plot, a poorly established villain, bad humor, and the majority of our hero's screen time being wasted. One of my biggest issues with this movie is how badly I think some of the characters were underutilized. I mean, Cyborg, for the most part, is the guy that just touches stuff and tells everyone what they need to know, not really doing much. In each of the big end fights in all of the Avengers movies, each hero has a role. Everyone is doing something useful, and with this movie, it's just like, yeah, they're all powerful and they're all here, I guess. Flash does some stuff over here, Batman and Aquaman are here, and oh yeah, Wonder Woman and Cyborg are over there too, but Superman just kind of makes everyone else a little meh. Like, they can't really do much, or what they're doing doesn't really have that big of an effect. Wonder Woman was awesome and looked so strong in her movie, and then this movie just kind of pulled the rug out from under her and made her look a little weak. It's kind of like only having 8% of my average viewers be subscribed. I really appreciate the 8%, because without you guys, I wouldn't have this channel. But can you imagine if just 10% more of the viewers subscribed? We'd smash the channel goal of getting to 200K by August, and that's only 10%. So shout out to the 8%, you guys are the real ones. And if you're part of the 90%, what are you even doing? If you enjoy the videos, go hit that red subscribe button. It's completely free and it helps out the channel a lot. I appreciate it. Now, like I was saying, I was really excited to see this movie when it first came out, but when I was watching it, I just never really could get hooked. My curiosity before I saw the movie outweighed my excitement I had when I was walking out of the theater, which I really don't like. I don't want to walk out of a movie theater feeling like I just wasted $10 in 2 hours of my life. You could say the best part of the movie was its trailers. There was a lot of cool scenes they completely just cut right out of the movie. And if you were to ask me what the movie was about, I couldn't tell you. Batman tries to get all the superheroes to work together to fight a big bad guy from destroying Earth. It was just too forgettable of a movie. Although it did have a pretty rough time in production, the director had to leave halfway through, but then they had to go redo some shots with Henry Cavill, which he was shooting for Mission Impossible at the time, and they had that awful attempt at trying to digitally remove his mustache because he couldn't shave it. I mean, I think they just should have left it on. Maybe Superman wanted to grow out a little stash, take a shot at a new look. It would have looked better than what they ended up doing, but there's footage out there somewhere of Superman with a mustache that I would love to see. Maybe they could work it in as a joke in the post-credit scene in the Snyder Cut or something. I think that'd be pretty funny. But the movie had to set up all these new characters that had only been briefly mentioned beforehand, like Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. It forced them to rush their introductions so they could start working together before half the movie had passed. Literally, half the Justice League had to be introduced in the first act. All their standalone movies should have come out before this. They also had to explain Superman's return and bring him into the picture, as well as set up the bad guy and have his plan set in motion, and trying to make all that work together in a sensible fashion within a 2-hour time frame just can make the movie feel a little bit rushed. And I never really felt a sense of danger. There was never really a reason to fear the villain other than he was trying to destroy the Earth. It was just because he was the bad guy. It was a lot more lighthearted than Superman vs. Batman and a lot of the other Snyder movies. And it's not a bad thing that the DC movies are kind of dark. It does stink to limit yourself by cutting out some of the younger viewers, yeah, but I think keeping them dark is a good way to distinguish their movies from all the Marvel superhero movies. I mean, that is if you wanted to go that route. Shazam was great, and they fully leaned into the comedy side of things with that one. Wonder Woman movie was really good, and that one wasn't too dark. I'm looking forward to seeing the second one too. The Justice League just didn't leave me wanting more, which is what a good movie should do when you watch it. The Marvel movies do a great job of doing that, and if you're going to compete with Disney pumping out superhero movies nonstop, a movie like this just can't stand on its own with just pretty visuals. Because it's a really pretty movie to watch, don't get me wrong. The CG wasn't the best at times, but they just threw so many colors and lights at you and blended it with a bunch of cool superhero shots that it made it really fun to look at. It just needed a bit more substance and something to care about to make it whole. I'm curious how much the tone will change, if all the jokes will be cut out, if the colors will be toned back. It just didn't feel like a Snyder film. I'm kind of hoping that's what it'll turn into. We need a better villain who feels like he can do some damage. Steppenwolf, the bad guy, just made the movie feel like a video game. We need more time if you're going to introduce 3 new main characters and their backstories as well, and explain Superman's return on top of it, and set up a new bad guy and his motives. I just really think that the Snyder Cut is going to fix these things, or at least the majority of them. Personally, I would love to see what he could do with a 6-part miniseries. If done well, it could be really successful and promote other series or more movies in the future. And I don't know if this is going to be canon or not in the DC timeline, but the fans really need a solid movie right now. And I'm just really excited to see how this comes out. I'm kind of curious actually because we still have Robert Pattinson's Batman movie coming out next year, so I feel like this is the last of Ben Affleck as Batman that we're going to see. But I also think that they're trying to make a second Man of Steel movie, which totally needs to happen, but the Robert Pattinson Batman would overlap with Superman 2, even though I don't think Pattinson's Batman is in the same universe as Cavil's Superman. I'm not sure how they would do it. I don't think we'll ever see the two on screen together, so it kind of makes me wonder if his Batman will be in a different universe, or if it's supposed to be the same one and they'll just never interact for continuity's sake. I mean, unless they want to say it's in the future and it's a new younger Batman like Dick Grayson or even Damian Wayne, but I don't think they're going to go that route. I think that this is just a one instance of Warner Brothers letting Snyder fulfill his original vision for the film by releasing another cut just this once. But apparently, there's another cut like this for Suicide Squad too. They cut a bunch of stuff out to trim the movie and switched the tone and added all these pop songs in. It'd be nice to see the original of that too, but one thing at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I kind of hope they take some of the corny jokes out too. I don't know if it was just me, but most of the time, Ezra Miller just came across as flat out annoying in most scenes. I'm not sure if I'm just not a fan of his acting or if I loved Grant Gust Flash from the CW so much that I wasn't open to a new Flash. But I just didn't really like Ezra Miller playing this character. It could have been the bad writing or the bad jokes he had, but I kind of feel they meant for this character to come across that way. Originally, the Justice League was meant to be a trilogy. Zack Snyder set up all these plot points and storylines to continue over 3 movies, and they were just like, nope, give everyone a bunch of new reasons to do all the things they're doing, and just like that, the momentum and continuity went right out the window, and they squished it down to 2 hours. We were also supposed to see that Green Lantern set up, and that was trashed. He was supposed to come in and help them fight Steppenwolf in the end battle, and we didn't get to see that either. There was supposed to be a whole dark storyline where Darkseid would kill Lois Lane to turn Superman to the dark side, and his return was completely changed. He was supposed to be brought back with the mother box by Darkseid as Black Suit Superman, and we never saw that either. I mean, according to Snyder, we've only seen 25% of this movie. That's like nothing. They also cut out a few extra Deathstroke scenes from the end that they shot. I'm really hoping we see those in the re-release. Overall, I'm just so happy that this movie is getting a chance at redemption. I'm getting back that initial excitement I had before it came out, and I'm really glad that Snyder is going to get to see his vision come to life. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss any upcoming videos. We're coming back to talk about Robert Pattinson's new Batman movie he's got coming out, along with some Marvel videos I've got coming too. Go watch one of these other videos. Shout out to the 8%. Thank you so much for your incredible support. I hope you all are being safe. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you in the comments. Peace.